Hi, it's Cathy with inkingitupwithcathy.com, and here is another card as part of my Forever Fern class, and I wanted to show you how to make this card here. I think is so cute. This card I found, let me see my note here. This was designed by Martin Stone, who is one of our design artisan team. And I just thought it was so pretty that I wanted to recreate it. And then here is how I designed the inside of the card. So let me show you what you need to make this card. I've got a piece of Pretty Peacock that measures 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 2 3/4. And my tip for you today is don't score the other side as well, because if you do, you run the risk of it not meeting up here in the middle. So I always just score the one side, and then by hand I'll bring this in, press it up against this other one, just like this, tight, and then come in and press it down with my bone folder and create my fold on the other side that way. And that way I'm guaranteed that these are going to match perfectly. Okay, so then I've also got a piece of Whisper White. This one here is 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and that's for the inside of the card. I've got a piece of the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper that measures 3/4 inches by 5 1/4, and a piece of the Pretty Peacock that measures a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. Mine is actually a little bit more than a 1/2 inch, but a 1/2 inch is all you're going to need because this is just a layering like this. For the outside of the card, this piece is 4 inches by 5 inches. I also have a little piece of Pear Pizzazz that measures 2 inches by 3 1/2 inches, and that will be die cut after we do a technique on that. A couple of little pieces, scrap pieces of the Shaded Spruce and the Garden Green that you'll be cutting out a few of these little tiny pieces from the Forever Greenery dies. So that's what those little scraps are for. And then finally, this piece is 1 inch by 4 inches, and this is from also from the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper. You'll also need one of the gold hoops and a bow that is tied using the gold cording from the Forever Greenery ribbon combo pack. And then you'll need this die from the Forever Greenery dies. For your inks, you'll be using Pretty Peacock, Pear Pizzazz, and Garden Green. So I'll show you this this technique first. So we're going to be wanting to get these here, and I want some texture to them. And so how I'm going to do that is to actually break the fibers and open this up to get two. So I'm going to just start kind of using my bone folder and going back and forth in different directions on this. And I'll go around this way, and then I'll turn and go the other way. And this will start to break down the fibers. You'll just continue to do this for a little while, and all of a sudden the paper will release and you can pull it apart. Now I'm starting to see evidence that the fibers are breaking down, so it should happen just about any time. Okay, right there it's starting. See how it's starting to split apart? So I can take that and pull it apart. So I'm going to just make sure that we've got a good breakdown of those fibers so that it doesn't tear and I don't get full sheets. Okay, so let's see if we can get it going here. Oh, here's the end that I started. So then you're going to just pull it apart and look at that. See that texture? I think it's so pretty. And if you start to feel that it's not pulling apart, then stop. And like I'm getting real thin there, I'm going to stop and I'm going to go ahead and work on this center section a little bit more. And depending upon how much pressure you put is how quickly this will all happen for you as you're doing that. And there we go. And let's kind of work it from this other side by breaking this end down. Because this one's getting really thin. So let's try and, there we go. Okay, so there's my two pieces, and now I'm going to cut these out using this die here. Let me get my die cutter going here. I'm still using my little electronic one because I haven't gotten my one from Stampin' Up! Yet, the new one, so I'm looking forward to that. But right now we'll still use my little electronic one. And like that. Pardon the noise. So we'll be doing our stamping on this piece that's 4 inches by 5 inches. There we go. There's one. And I don't know if you can see the texture in that or not, but it's really pretty. So let's see if I can get a second one out of this. And I can, so we'll just cut them both. I need 2 of them. We'll cut them both from this same one. So for the stamps that we're going to need these 2 little guys here. We'll need this one here, and then we'll need this spatter, I guess. I don't know what we call that. I'll go with spatter. All right, so those are cut. I can set the die out of the way. Now we're going to work out from the center and kind of be stamping out this way. And you're going to be stamping with the Pear Pizzazz and the Garden Green. And I'll be using both colors on some of these stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my chamois in up here so I can clean it. So I'm going to start with the larger one and the Pear Pizzazz ink. And I'll kind of be thinking here center. So I'll go out here. And then I'm going to go ahead with a lighter one there. And one maybe out like that, and a lighter one there, and then one more down here like that. With this little one, I'm going to start with the Garden Green. sorry about that. Let me silence that. And stamp here and out here. Just pick some spots. And then this one, I think this direction, I'll go in the Pear Pizzazz. I don't need too much more here. Maybe one out here. Now, you'll be mindful that a lot of this right in this center area will be hidden. So you want to make sure that there are some things out to the side. I think I'll get something way out here like that. Okay, let's leave it at that. And then I'm going to come in with the Pretty Peacock, and I am going to stamp off first and then just come in various spots. Just like that. I'm going to grab my little cutter just because it's easy, but just grab a trimmer and you're going to cut this right down the center at 2.5. So we'll go right here at 2.5. Just like that. And now we can put those on the front of our card. Get my light showing so I can see what I'm doing. Just like that. Okay. So now on the front, we will be building our design here. Oh, and then we also need a little piece of Whisper White. And let me grab that. It needs to be a 1/2 inch. It's for this little hello here. Just a little piece of 1/2 inch by, let's get a little ruler. And that's a little over 1.5. So that's 1 5/8. I'll go ahead and stamp it and then trim it. So I've got that in Pretty Peacock. Just like that. So then I'll go ahead and trim that off. I want to leave a little bit over here for gluing the bow. So I'll do it about right there. So there's my hello. Okay, so I need to get my stripe. We'll start with that. And then we'll kind of build up one of the ferns on the hoop. And so what I used was some glue dots and started to have them glued to the hoop itself. So this one is going to go here on top like this. So I'll take a glue dot go. And bring that here onto my hoop. And then I'm going to start to build things behind it, because that's going to be at the front. So I'll put a couple of these. On here. And this will come up underneath. At about that kind of an angle. And this one here. Will be up there, like that. And now we need to put in some of these little ones, and I've got lots of them, so you just have to decide how many you want. Now, glue dots are a little bit harder to do with that, so they may be easier to do with a little bit of liquid glue, or you can take a couple of them and put them onto a glue dot like this. Put them together and then put them inside. So maybe right up in here, such a way that they show up a little bit. And we'll do the same thing with these two. Put one there and one there. And they will go up inside here. Tuck right up in there like that. And I think I want one more over here in the garden green, just like that one. So I'll go ahead and put him on a glue dot. You either have to use a liquid glue and attach them to the other cardstock, or if you're going to attach them to the hoop, you need to use the glue dot. And I'll put that one right like that. Okay. There, I like the way that looks. All right, so now this whole thing has got to attach to this piece here. So I'm going to put some glue dots on where I know I'm catching the hoop and also the cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and use some tweezers to do this one. It's just a little bit easier for me to place them. Let me move this up where you can see it better. And I want to make sure I have several glue dots. And then that will come over here like that. And then the hello is going to be up on dimensionals. So I'll get a couple of mini dimensionals. Let me again move that up. And I'm going to put them over here to this side a little bit because of this being raised. I don't want to have it pop up too much. and place that right in there like that. And then with a little bit of liquid glue right here, I'll put my bow. And I'm going to turn it about right there. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to kind of adjust this so it doesn't hinge on the hello too much. And then I'm going to set that to the side, and we'll come back to it, give it a minute to dry. And so now we'll work on the inside of the card. So I've got this piece here, and with my stamps again, I'm going to get my Pear Pizzazz. Now I've got this at the bottom, so I want to stamp a little bit higher. I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And my garden green. I don't want the one facing that way. I actually want the one facing the other way. So let me find him. And he's going to go right there. And then finally, I'm going to get the spattering and my pretty peacock. Stamp off. And stamp off. There we go. And now we'll assemble the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back of this piece. Now be careful with this one because it is directional with the green leaves. So this piece you can't really tell that, but be careful when working with this paper on larger pieces because it is directional. So this will go on here. So does anybody else have this issue where one piece that you've cut, let's see if I can get it up close. One piece, see here, it's a little bit longer than the other. My tip to you is to actually intentionally make them a little bit longer so that you've got it hanging over the side with both of them, and then you can just quickly trim them off and then it will match up real well for you. That's just a little helpful hint. There. And there. Make sure I've got this going the right direction, and I do. Okay. So now I'm going to attach this to just the one side of my card. So I'm going to go ahead right here and place some adhesive, and I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Seal Plus because of the weight of the hoop. So let's put some of the Seal Plus here. Ooh, that came out a lot further than I wanted it to. What in the world's going on with this? Okay, we're going to use the regular one because I've got something going on with that Seal Plus right now. And so that will lay right there like that. Oh, my glue is not. And so now this whole thing will open up just like that. So that is the next card as part of my Forever Fern class offering. Thanks for joining me.